All right, this is it.
This is the final pod.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamie comes looking like the cover of FHM to the final pod.
Look, our fans have put up with me looking like absolute dirt shit most of the time.
Dirt shit.
Wow. Can you take a little scooch back and show the crowd? Wow. Wow. I mean,
I'm wearing a tank top. I put a little makeup on. I got my hair done yesterday. So I didn't do my hair for this, but it's a residual. You know, it's just I got called stupid
all real
the last
hair?
pod. Yeah, this is all my hair.
Wow. You got called stupid?
Yeah.
Did I
Everyone
call you
thinks
stupid?
I'm stupid because of what I said about Casey Anthony.
that she believed Casey. Hashtag.
Oh, is there controversy
Whatever your
there?
hashtag.
I mean, let me
I'd
just,
imagine.
Is there a little bit of controversy?
let me
regarding
start by
Casey
saying, let me just start by saying, I said I haven't finished it yet. I only watched the first 1.5, and it was shocking to me how vastly different she seemed than what we were perceiving her to be many years ago. I'm not like on my soapbox asking to like free her, or like I'm not campaigning for her, or like whatever, but people
Also,
got-
I thought you said free Casey, lock up
You
Brittany.
were also probably very high and were feeling guilty because at times you've thought of killing your kids.
I've never thought of killing
You were
my kids.
stoned, Jamie, so you can just blame it on weed.
I mean, when the killing your kids in the way when someone says, I'm going to kill you, not in the Casey Anthony. I mean, look,
Yeah.
come on, Jamie. Look at you. You could never. You're an angel.
I've had feelings about my kids, but never that.
Can I
But
ask you this? So
I'm sorry
So-
to disappoint our fans and make you feel like I'm dumb.
is it
But
turned
now
out that
she's
she
beautiful,
did?
so
So now I'm just going to live up the whole dumb stereotype. What?
What's the rest of the documentary? Like, what part did you
I haven't
miss?
finished it yet. I
She
haven't
did
watched
it.
the third one yet.
she
Okay.
admits to it
She
in the third episode.
did. Okay.
No, I'm just,
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I'm still waiting for Jamie's password that she promised me
Oh,
2
God,
weeks ago.
Cutter needs it. Cutter has to give it to you. I don't
Listen,
know.
you were busy getting beautiful for this pod.
I was. It took days. Took days.
I don't. What I do have good news about. We can make our announcement to where we're going.
Should we do it now or at the end?
Yeah, I think we should do it now. I got the okay. You know what I was thinking about is like before. I feel like when we started Pajama Pants, I know I could speak for me. I hadn't worked in like 10 years on anything.
Well, I mean, we worked on a pretty big
Well, that was
project
like-
together,
That was like 7 years before the podcast, wasn't it?
right? And I'm also kidding.
Of course, yeah, but
Yeah.
even that was 7 years before. But I really, Jamie's angry. We're ending the pod. She's breaking shit. And Kasim, you hadn't worked in how long?
I
Before
mean,
we started the
nothing
pod?
regular. Yeah, it was like probably 2017. So it was 2 years. 2017 was the last thing I did on YouTube before that.
Okay, and then Jamie, how long had you not worked in?
Oh, I mean, I had worked.
Okay, because I was gonna say it felt like all three of us were kind of doing nothing, and then like since the pod started, I feel like Kasim got his dream job
Yeah.
with G4
And
Right.
subsequently lost it. Thank you.
Get in the call to play video games and read comic books and get paid out the wazoo. He's drinking a $70 shake right now that he said he'd never do it again, but then he remembered dream job paying him a
It's the
ton of
last-
money. Why
I'm
not?
We have to
celebrating.
celebrate. It's the
I'm
last
celebrating.
pod, guys.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
And then Jamie got regular on a TV show, which is her dream job.
Mm-hmm.
And
So now
I
you've
was
got your
offered
dream.
I was offered a podcast to do with Jamie-Lynn with Tom Segura and Christina P. Or offered by them to do a podcast with Your Mom's House. And I have moved to Austin and we're going to start it in the new year. I'm very excited.
Congrats. It's hard to sit on that information. I think I speak for everyone when I ask, what about Kass?
Well, if you're willing to travel, you're our number
Right.
one
Yeah,
guest.
you know that.
You're our,
Look, we should clear that because I assume there'll be a bunch of people that are like, they went and did a podcast without
course.
Kass.
Oh, I don't think so. I think they get it.
Oh, well, I wanted to clear it up and
they'll-
let you guys know that this is purely a logistical thing. And I would be the lead host if I lived in Austin.
Correct.
So thank you so much.
Look, I mean, I think the reason why I don't really feel bad is because I know deep down, and I think Kasim knows I really do, that Kasim knows deep down that, like, there's no other two people I'd rather do a podcast with. Like, this is it for me. This is, if it was like, hey, you can have two people to do a podcast with, I don't even go like, who would I'm like, bang, Kass
not
and
even,
Jay,
not even, doesn't register at all. The only thing I think about is, like, I bet some people would be like, oh, they just didn't want to do a pod with Kass. And then I don't give it a second thought because I know how insane of a thought that is. But more importantly,
people would think that.
But more importantly, I think you're one of the handful of people that I feel so happy for when you, like, in a thing like this. And a lot of times, as I get older, I get better at this, but you spend a lot of time like going like, oh man, I wish I would have, that's a cool thing. That person doesn't deserve it. Or they probably sucked or fucked their way into this job. You did the thing that you wanted to do, which is start a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You are so good at it
Mm-hmm.
that everyone noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with you, Jamie, except you're good at everything you do. So
right.
I'm highlighting Rob here.
I'm a good co-pilot. I'm a good reactor.
You're the best.
Sometimes.
And it's no stranger to me that other people would be like, whoa, okay, well, he lives in Austin. Jamie lives in Austin. Let's do a podcast with Rob in Austin. I think this is such a slam dunk idea. I'm over the moon for you. I can't wait to show up and be on the show as much as possible. If I were to ever consider moving anywhere, the first place I'd consider to move would be to Austin to be with you guys. I appreciate, well, I would. And
that would be the best.
The best.
And unfortunately, there's just an unfathomable amount of insects and weather that I can't deal with. And I own 2 homes here in Los Angeles.
What's the weather?
Oh, please. The entire state got frozen over and the goddamn governor went to Mexico to party. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're such a liberal.
Oh, please, dude. Suck my fat.
I'm so happy
Bernie
we're done with him, Jamie.
I'm
so happy we're done with this guy. No, but really,
but congratulations. I'm so happy that the news is out. I'm gonna fly down there and be a part of as much of it as possible, or as little of it as possible. But I think it's a long time coming, and I'm glad you guys are getting the recognition.
We're gonna send you every week our podcast to make you record an ending for us every week, because neither of us cannot do it.
I'm sorry, I'm busy.
You've got to do it.
This is.
We'll compensate. I'll send you a Sun Life every time to record it.
Oh, dude, if you get me one of these a week.
Are you still getting the goat? Is that the goat?
This one's a Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
The goat was like a milkshake. That was it felt like I was doing something wrong by drinking.
Yeah.
So when does the pod start? What's the details? What can you share?
Yeah, nothing really yet. We're still hammering stuff out. It'll probably start maybe like February. But you know what the feeling I have, like, that this reminds me of with you and the pod is, like, I remember when my grandfather died and, like, being at the funeral and, like, talking to people. It was like, I remember I said something joking around about him and someone gave a look like, oh, and it's like, I know how much I love my grandpa. I could say whatever I want. Like, I don't care. Like, no one could tell me what you just said about your grandpa was wrong. It's like, right. I was the dude there. Like, you can't tell me. And, like, I know there's not 1% of me that even has, like, a little bit of, like, I don't think a podcast gets better without Kass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's any bright side there's not one bright side of where I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe scheduling. Only scheduling it with 2 people is probably going to be easier than 3. But besides that, I don't think there's a single thing that, like, Kass, that you take away. Like, all you do is add, you know?
Well, I appreciate that's very kind. And I'd like to think that there's a special chemistry that we've really worked hard the last 3 years to sort of make. And it'll be nice to know that that's our chemistry and the three of us can make it at any moment that we want. We just have to be in the same room together. So it'll be so fun to go visit and then do a couple pods in a fancy studio, you know, come stay in the casita.
Obviously.
I'm also a little proud, I got to say, today I knew the two of you. It's like when somebody hooks up a couple, you know, and they're like, I know these two, and then they actually do date and it works really well. Like when I knew the two of you separately and the fact that you had never met, in my head, I'm like, I know it. I know how well they'll get along. You two are like, you just, you know, you guys, I knew you'd vibe very well. And I'm very happy that you guys are friends.
You've given me another amazing friend in my life. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. The feeling's mutual. It's anyone that you decide to put in front of me, there will be pre-vetted and I'll never have to worry about whether or not I like this person. I've never met a person that you were like, oh, this guy's a guy. I mean, there's been people that we've been around together that have not been great, but like no one that you were like, this guy's good people, you know?
Yeah. Even though you've really distanced yourself from us lately, Kassam, but we had a good run.
Physically, are you speaking physically or have I emotionally distanced from you?
Always.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've tried to, as a man who just recently laid off and who's trying to pay the bills, I've been a little busy and I could give you guys, my rich celebrity friends, more attention and love.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. A lot to think about today.
ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix an achy back, get that mole checked out, or anything else. ZocDoc has you covered. ZocDoc's mobile app is as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting delivery to your house. Search, find, and book doctors with a few taps. Find and review local doctors. Read verified patient reviews from real people who made real appointments. Now, when you walk into the doctor's office, you're set to see someone in your network who gets you. Go to ZocDoc.com, find the doctor that's right for you, and book an appointment in person or remotely that works for your schedule. Every month, millions of people use ZocDoc, and I'm one of them. It's my go-to whenever I need to find and book a quality doctor. Go to ZocDoc.com/pajama and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/pajama. That's ZocDoc.com/pajama. We talked about how it'd be nice if we kind of had a best of pajama pants things. Mm-hmm. And one of our amazing listeners made a video for us. Kass,
oh my God.
Yeah, Jamie, it's so good. If you could share.
You've watched it?
Yeah, I started it and then I stopped it because I was like, I think it's better if we all watch it together.
Is it on the Reddit?
It's on the Reddit.
Okay.
And I think that if
am I gonna cry?
I think it's more laughing, but use your discretion, Kass. But I think you should pause it a bunch and we should talk about the moments and because I think there's going to be a lot of laughing, especially from Miss Jamie-Lynn.
Oh God. And I'm not even stoned.
Yeah, you don't need to be. It's very funny.
All right, one sec here.
Yeah, this was perfect. So we got to get the name of the guy who did it because I asked him, I said, hey, thank you so much for doing this. And he was like, thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And then I was like, do you mind if we play it? And he was like, please play it. So what was his name, Kass? Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. Like Phantom, but
Phantom Menace.
Thank you very much. You did a great job from what I've seen so far, and I can't wait to see the rest.
Great. All right. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
Like go to the edge of the bed, and like lean, like bend over, and then I want to like look in your butthole and then do stuff. If we get we gotta get.
Usually, sex needs to be in my ass. Or you think we can do this tonight?
What, a screwdriver in your ass?
Yes.
Wow.
Thoughts in
I know how
hotel
much
rooms.
cum you are capable of producing. Now, if I think of 100 comes in,
If we put you
I have a
and
feeling the
Gwyneth
puss you've
Paltrow-
been around, no one's buying that candle. if you know what I mean, pal.
that would be, yeah, that's
You and your small ass dick. That is the smallest dick I have ever seen in my life. Are you even a man? What the fuck are you doing?
your
I'm
panties
trying
are
to
soaked.
understand everything.
Oh,
Is it more McDonald's?
what do you think? Oh, no.
I don't have a poop story. I had a poop question, but I think we can hold it.
Jamie. There she is, folks. Princess of comedy.
The
You heard
princess.
it.
Holy fuck! Like I'm gonna fuck you, Dad.
But you can't be decent.
You just want to say hi from Pakistan. Is that racist? That's not racist. If I'm just doing the voice.
I have two
Hey,
little.
tell him cancel the $99 million for Jamie's vagina mold.
I don't
on,
like
that's
this. I was not aware of
You
all
were
this.
like, this
I
is-
was also a baby.
Yes.
I like did a baby.
I was a baby. I was nothing but a baby.
Guys, look how long my nails are.
We're Paul.
I'm so happy I ruined your sobriety.
Yeah, it's only been 7 years. I wasn't even counting anyway. Woof. This is why I don't deal with women.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mommy chicken salad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mommy needs her chicken salad.
You are.
Sorry, guys.
He's like, I got Jamie singing for $200,000 a pop at the Borgata.
Jamie. Jamie. Gabby, please.
I think we could even leave that in because
You gotta
yeah,
believe
you gotta,
it.
you gotta
Oh
believe
my God.
that was horrible.
Bigfoot, but like second or third date, you brought up the fact that Bigfoot could have a labia.
Yeah. Why is that? The pistol's too small.
Oh wait, go back. This is one of my all-time. Oh my god.
Why is that? Because your puss hole's too small. I mean, it could be there's a scientific term for that.
Why do you try not to laugh?
Now you know I wanted to
Puss
kill
hole.
Chasm.
Yeah, you should have never.
No, I've had two.
Cancel Kass.
Yeah.
Please.
Boom. And here, you can click here if you want to sign a petition.
Cancel me. Go ahead and try and click this link.
Oh, no.
It was, a satanic sacrifice.
I'm fucking rich. I've got my own shit, my own money. I'm cool.
Whoa. Now, when he was done, while his finger was in there, he said, "Oh, you got some poopies in there, huh?"
Well, was he lying?
No, I had poopies in there. So, that, was I molested?
I don't know if you were molested. Hysterical laughing is fucking
Was I
terrible.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
bad girl. Yeah, girl.
I don't like that.
Oh,
The famous scene in American Pie.
no, I had a friend who tried to fuck an apple once. He said it was the pits.
Okay.
Cass, where are you going? Cass?
See, we could do that
I mean,
in
like
studio.
anonymous, or she just has a bad
Or
face.
she's fucking.
What are you doing on your phone?
I'm looking at a ex hamster.
Oh yeah. Focus on making sure my penis doesn't crawl back in my body while the guy's swabbing it. For
Oh my God! You have to get that every. Person replied to him that he put what? No, that he
this was a bad idea.
that he put him onto. Oh, that he put him on.
If you can't fuck your fans, what are we doing? Ask
Put that on a
pajamapants@gmail.com.
I know I'm hot. Look at me. I'm a fucking piece of ass.
What? Yeah.
I'm Jamie-Lynn.
It's good. So, and if you heard what we say about you on our car rides to and from the podcast,
Yeah, he's like that fat puss.
Oh God, her puss so fat.
No,
we are
no,
talking about Rob.
Definitely an episode I will not let.
No,
my
speaking
husband
about
listen
cars, though, congrats.
to. You might see my boobs.
This is right too.
Oh,
If we is like has these fake companies and she's selling us that, and then she's like, "Oh, you have tattoos?" And this girl has like a little tattoo on like her leg or like like nothing crazy. And they're literally they sit together and they're all like, "We shouldn't hang out with her." Crazy.
Meanwhile, they have like Botox in their lips. Man, how am I going to say this without sounding super racist?
That's like that time we asked that question, and you and I both said we like to be strangled, right? Was it or like, or what would be like
Tied
something
up.
freaky? Tied up.
No, I don't like being strangled, Jamie. Please don't put that out there.
So, Kassam,
Oh, there's
your
a photo on
looks
the back.
at the camera, sense of humor, well-defined arms.
All right.
Whoa.
Whoa, wait a second.
I'm
out of here,
honored.
Gabby.
I'm honored to have the body of Hillary Swank.
Yeah. George is doing like I don't know. That's a kind of like it's not that timid.
Get that away from me,
I'm
Kass.
just saying. Okay, it's a way for us to bond. So,
Wait, hold on. People who are not watching could think something crazy was going on there.
Well,
that was a tissue,
in.
guys.
Tune in to the pod. On
Jesus
YouTube.
Christ! Find out what.
Don't touch me.
On here, and I don't find your Rocket League highlights to be autistic.
Thank you.
I
New
think that's
host
cool.
of Pajama Pants.
Going slightly.
Okay, number 9.
I like to collect information about categories of things.
Oh, Kass! Oh boy! Is there a fifth option? Is there a through the roof option?
I still think that could be true.
What does that mean? I like to collect information about categories.
I know exactly.
It says, "Are you like Kassam?" That's what the question is.
He was driving the backhoe and they were digging up a body or something. And we partied at this fucking hotel there, and I made friends with like 2 old ladies who ran the karaoke machine. And
Fucking cool, dude.
What am I
You
lying?
pipe up. You step up to me again. You get the hand. Okay. You
Whoa.
calm down, woman, and take no guff from a female Asian of the
wow,
world.
cancel Kass
Holy
again.
cow.
It's not. What's wrong with that?
And hope everyone that traveled safe. And
And now to the hooker porn star review.
I was being like. haunted
Oh, Tommy.
I don't know how we went. And
for it.
McBoobs helped me a lot. Heather.
Well, you didn't know her yet.
Big
though.
boobs.
cup. I have 2 cups today.
Wow, give me 2 cups.
I'm just like I'm so happy in my life that I feel like when I see other people in relationships, I'm like, oh, do I really want to like date, which is something I hate. We find out this woman was telling a story of being like separated from her from her children, and they were like taken away by the Gestapo. Or like I don't know.
And he lives a very fortunate life, and we give him a lot, and I get that, and I get some of it's on us, but like I really don't know how to gracefully teach my kid to be grateful, because it's really pissing me off. Like it's really getting me upset.
Maybe when all 3 of you are on the quads, access, you could pull them aside. Maybe
You do that with me a lot when you talk about when you order Chinese food and then you go and then she said and then you go to and then you have to stop yourself because you don't want to do the Chinese voice.
Yeah. Yep. I do
I
that
know.
a lot.
Ronald McDonald was chasing a neighbor down the hallway.
Hey, Ronald. Well, let me see if I can up the quality
Look
here.
at Jamie's face.
Oh, it's good,
That's how
man.
that's
This
if
is
you want to
good.
know how I feel about Perry Caravello, it's right there.
Yeah, it's finally Jamie, I
Oh,
think
this
that's
is
one
great.
thing you should do. You should let it out how really finally. We're done with Pajama Pants. You should let it out how you really feel about Perry.
Sure.
We're gonna need a supercut. We're gonna need a supercut. It's so fun to watch.
Oh,
We should do this like we should have done this once every 3 months or something.
oh, this is the best. Keep going.
So fun.
McDonald's.
Ronald McDonald.
I like fucking cat poo poo.
What was it?
Oh, I don't do blowjobs.
Oh, okay.
From like they thought of nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it was just like,
wild.
hey, $12 beers, like come get them, and they just made a shit ton of money.
Wow.
Yeah, but Jimmy, back to you not blowing your husband. Wow,
That's amazing. But that's also
Pajama Pants.
Pajama Pants.
I would like a
rainbow.
kind of animation
Yeah.
off my hand right now. Okay. Which happened to make
Transition.
my whole day. I've been a fan of Kassam since the very early. Very realistic looking. People like to fuck my vagina.
Oh,
These should be shaped like vaginas and penises also. I think it'd just be funny.
Gabby, you might be Gabby's favorite guest.
Gabby, we can do our own podcast because they're not feeling it. It's fine.
Person's perspective, because you realize just like how you can just be in your view and just really believe that's right, and then look at the other person's and completely understand their point of view.
Kass always tries to do that to me with 9/11.
Yeah, well, you gotta realize that like we are not fans of buildings, and we wanted to do whatever we could. When your whole family's been terrorized by a gang of buildings.
If there was ever like 45 seconds to be like, what is this pod about? It should be like the tail end of me saying that, then Rob bringing it down to that, and then you going off on a fucking tangent.
And then I'm done jerking off, and I come back from like throwing the tissues away or whatever, and I'm like, oh my
podcast.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, was that it? Oh,
Yeah,
I could have watched so much of that more.
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense. I could have watched so much more of that.
That's also good.
There's the first clip for our next one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Phantom
We've
Menace.
had some
thank
great
you.
times, guys. You know, like watching that back, I'm reminded of like all our funny moments, but also like it's really cool to see. You can really see how much we love each other and how much we enjoy each other. And that's been the backbone of this podcast, you know, and I think we're so grateful that you guys have like listened to us when we've shown up with like nothing really to talk about, and just you're basically just listening to the three of us, how we would hang out if we weren't recording it. And the fact that that meant something to you guys to want to keep listening every week and just enjoy us being silly. I mean, life is hard and the world is crazy, and it's just been really cool to be able to have this refuge for the three of us. But then also, you know, it sounds like for a lot of you of just, you know, kind of keeping it light and getting it deep when we needed to, but always finding like the humor and everything. And that's, I think, what we've set out to do. And I'm really proud of what we did.
Yeah, when I read the comments, when we were like saying we were done, I went to go look at the comments, and so many people were like, you got me through COVID. Like so many people were just like, I was having such a hard time through COVID, and this felt like I was around my friends and with my friends. And that's just like, because that's what we were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were getting
yeah.
that by spending time with each other, and to give that to, you know, the people who are listening is awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, it's been a real gift. I think it's been a much more rewarding experience than I think, at least I thought it was going to be. You know, I thought, oh, I'll just, you know, I'll meet Jamie and then we'll have a fun little podcast together. I think the part that I didn't see coming was, you know, how much I value both of your friendships, but like I already valued Rob. But even then, doing the pod, it became a deeper, without sounding, you know, super sentimental. It became like a deeper, more like a emotionally connected relationship. And then finding Jamie's friendship, and then going, you know, just as deep with Jamie, somebody who I'm like just starting to get to know. And then in the pod, you see us sort of. I'd say it took us a year of doing the pod until we started gelling. Like, I think we did a good job in the first year of making a good pod, getting to know each other. And then I think when we started coming over to your house on a weekly basis, it all just like really clicked, because we started to, I realized like you are a dirty, hilarious, sometimes
we were able to start
vile
teasing
woman.
each other.
Yeah, it's funny. You've got a dark, like a very fun dark side that you have access to. That it makes it so much funnier, because you're always such a positive sort of, you know. But when you do go dark, it catches me and Rob off guard, you know, so wonderfully that it's so funny. And I don't really have anyone like that, you know, like that I know that I've known for that long, that has the ability to just like completely turn my head with one sentence.
Oh, well, you know, Rob obviously has always been family to me, and like been able to experience a lot with him. But like, Kass, you also like came to feel like a brother to me, you know, in every sense of the word, but to me, the most important way of just the trust and comfortability I have, because as much as I'm like vulnerable and open with anybody I meet, there's just like a certain deeper level of really getting to be me and all sides of me with people. And you're like one of the few that I feel that with. And I think that's why I was able to do this on this podcast, because you almost forget that it's going to be put out there. But that's why you need this type of relationship with your co-hosts, because, you know, you want, like Rob always said, and I always think about it, it's you're getting to listen in on an intimate conversation between people. And that's what
that was my favorite
are.
part of the pod, is it honestly was just three people sort of catching up and like talking about whatever came up in a real conversation. And I think in the beginning, having no structure like scared me a little bit, because everything I had done had like a format or a structure, and like, now we're going to do this segment. And then, you know, we started getting comments, overwhelming amount of comments that were just people saying, it just feels like I'm in a room watching and listening to friends talk. And then that became, to me, more important, and like because that's hard to cultivate. And you can't just have that. Even people that know each other don't necessarily know how to like keep a conversation going, you know, for that long. And not saying that we are the best at it or anything. I just felt like at any moment you could skip to any part of the pod and it would sound like you just walked into a room where three people with different points of view, but all complimenting each other in a way were having a chat, which is I think all anyone should ever really strive to do, you know, in a podcast, in a pod. Yeah.
I don't think that, like, as an adult, especially like in my 30s, like I can't, you know, just like how close I got with Kass in the last like 3 years. Like, I think that's rare as like a almost 40-year-old man, you know, spending like that much time with just a buddy, you know, like neither of us had a girlfriend or kids or a job most of the time or this. So it was just, you know,
I'm gay for you, dude.
A lot. Yeah, I know.
Absolutely 100% gay for you.
You know what I loved too? I loved watching our clips and seeing, like, I don't think there's any podcast in the last 3 years that has had that many different like camera angles and like backgrounds. And there's like every single clip, it was like everyone was in like a different room, a different camera. The sound is different.
We're
it's
so
good,
professional.
It's bad.
Yeah,
we really are, man.
We just kept doing it. I think that's the important part. I think being consistent is important. To me, was more important than anything. And having, you know, I don't know if we missed. Did we miss 1 week or no?
Never.
I don't think so.
We didn't miss a single week.
Every week. Sometimes there was two of us. But for the most part, I think that's like a really big achievement to be able to say you did that.
I wonder, you know what we should do next time we do, and that's the other thing when everyone was like, you know, we want you guys to meet 4 times a year or twice. And I was like, and they're like, Rob only said twice a year or once a year. It's like, as many times as Kass wants to come down to Austin, like that's how many times we'll reunite every year. You know what I mean? And I hope it's at least 4, 5, 6 times a year that we're just.
I'll probably come in January, or well, if you're not starting until February, I'll try and come for the launch for sure.
Great.
Of the pod. And help kick it off. I mean, it's going to be great. And I'm glad, Pajama Pants listeners, it was tough not to say it, because it's like when we said we were ending, I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh shit. But now it's nice to know that they have a place they can go, which is, I think we'll definitely post it on the Pajama Pants Instagram, but follow Jamie and I'm sure you'll be letting them know when that's coming out sooner or later, but you have a home. You have a home.
We do. And it'll just be more of, you know, Rob trying to make me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I'm really going to go for it, I think.
Yep, I'm ready.
Gonna be and what's great is now we have a full team. Like, that was one of the first things that like Tom and Christina said. They were like, you have as many producers as you need. You got a social media person. You got a this, that. So it's like, you know, there were like, I think showing up as friends and sharing and this, there was like nowhere that we lacked. But I think definitely when it came to like, you know, being a machine and figuring out how to get the most ears or eyes on this pod, it's like we were all just like, it's not our strength. You know what I mean? It's like we're all just like, oh,
we're just
like
the talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now
do
it's
it
like,
all.
obviously Gabby was amazing at
Oh my
editing
God.
it, but it's like, you know,
Gabby is so
we
much
got to talk
part-
about Gabby.
Gabby is so much part of this show and creating the vibe of this show and the rhythm of this show. She locked into our personalities so fast, and that's such a talent. And she works with so many of my friends now and they're successful podcasts because I couldn't say enough great things about her. It's a real quality to be able to like understand people and also understand like our audience and what they respond to, and the way she would even just edit the clips each week for us to post on Instagram. They were like the perfect moments for you to understand what this episode was going to be about or where we were at in our lives this week and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just can't say enough amazing things about her.
Well, you know, obviously Gabby's the best part of this that's unseen, you know, just to talk about a little bit of how we started the whole thing and how we met Gabby was through George Kimmel, as you guys know, from Tiger Belly, and Bryce, who were so kind and generous at the beginning, because we were trying to figure out, well, we want to do a pod. Who do we talk to? Do we try and do it alone? I don't have the bandwidth to like also produce stuff. I just don't know, and I don't like doing it. And so Bryce and George, who I worked with before, had a lot of success with Tiger Belly, and they were producing Big Mood. And so we went to them, and they were really integral in the beginning part of this pod, giving us the back of the sweatshop to record in, which at the time seemed like, now looking back, was like, wow, remember those days when we could all kind of be in the same room. And we drove an hour, me and Rob, you know, it took a chunk out of our day that we were happy to do, because we got to catch up in the car and then do the pod. and then
we talked about making a pod out of that.
Yeah. And so when we first got there, Gabby wasn't working there yet. So it was just George and Bryce, but it was really just Bryce. George was very busy with Tiger Belly, which we give him shit for, but it's obvious that we have a lot of love for George. And then Bryce was sort of our point person. And then Gabby got hired. And as soon as Gabby got hired, things just felt easier and better. And the pod started getting like, it was being edited with like less and less notes had to be given.
Mm-hmm.
The social media posts were way better. And we do consider Gabby to be like our fourth, even though, you know, she hasn't really been on recently. But when she was in the studio, I loved bringing Gabby on the pod to me. It was so fun. There was that sort of like, that uncomfortable, me making her uncomfortable was like, that's just my sweet spot, Gabs, you know, having you react and pretend that you're disgusted with me, you know, pretending. And that was really fun. And I will miss that. And hopefully, you know, Gabby, maybe you should record something right now when you're editing this, like a 2-minute goodbye, and maybe edit it in, put it in at this part, because we love you and we wouldn't be here without you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I have friends in New York who have started like their own companies or their own business, and they say like the hardest thing is always finding somebody who cares about your business the way that you do. You know, it's like you'll hire people and they're like they I'm into it. And then as soon as they can, they want to cut corners. They want to, you know, just they're looking for something else. Yeah, but it was like when we gave this to Gabby, it was like giving it to one of us, or even better than giving it to one of us. She just really, like, if there was a joke in the pod that to make it work took an extra 5 minutes, like she would take that extra 5 minutes to make it work. And it was also nice that she always told us we were her favorite pod to work on, you know? Yeah. We would ask her, hey, you're working with those other people. Who's the best? She'd be like, you guys are the best. But we would ask her to her face and kind of, pressure her to say it was us.
We
But
did
she
that,
said it.
yeah.
Yeah, she said it.
I had her in a half Nelson asking her. Yeah, I also want to thank all the guests. I'm sure none of them are listening to this last episode.
No,
but
maybe Jason Sorbonne, maybe Joe Perino.
Jason, you guys were all-time guests. Drea De Matteo, all-time guest.
Christina P might listen.
Christina,
Tom.
Christina P, you are. It's been such a
champion for us.
Such a champ.
Truly,
you really were such a staunch supporter of the pod. Thank you for being such a kind person to myself and obviously our baby boy Rob and giving Robbie a shot at the big time because
she's our new boss.
Yeah, don't piss her off, man. But I can come in there. I don't work for her, so I can just stir the pot, dude. Stir the pot.
Oh, she sent. Her Christmas gift that she sent me is right here.
Oh, a bowl,
nice.
A big salad bowl.
That is nice.
She knows that I like to just eat out of one big bowl when I eat my dinner.
Bowl.
So she gave me, and without her, I don't know if we've ever said this before on the show, but without her, we never would have made any of the money back we put into this because she introduced us to the people who did our ads, and we started getting a lot more ads, and we got to put some money back in our pocket. So it's
which we still haven't cashed out.
We still haven't taken a cent out of.
But we will. We'll take it out next year or whenever we know that this is over and we could. Yeah. So what about you, Kass? How's streaming going? Are you enjoying it? What's going on? Tell us.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow to work and /vacay, and I've got, I'm happy to be working for myself again, which gives me a little bit of freedom. It's a little scary, but it's not anything that I haven't done before. So it's been going well, and there's been a lot of PJP fans that are in the chat every day, and things are great. I really can't complain. There's been such a nice evolution from YouTube to the podcast to G4. Everyone's there's a nice cross section of people that come and hang out with me every day on Twitch.
That's great.
Are you enjoying it more than G4? Where does it compare?
It's very different. It's very different. It's you've got to be your own producer, and that takes a lot of time off stream. But the pressure, it's a little less pressure, but it's not a whole lot less because you still got to come up with a way to have content every day. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's nice, and my girlfriend Ashley, who's been such a supporter, and she does it 8 hours a day, so she's really got a lot of tips and helps me a lot with it, and it's been good.
How many days a week does she do it?
5.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's exhausting to create content.
It's too much, dude. It's too much. And then also trying to post on TikTok and fucking YouTube. It's
it's a lot of energy. I know that sounds like a pussy thing to say, or a very but it really is. It really, I don't know. For me, I think it's to share so much of yourself. There's this girl, our friend Noah Tepperberg's wife, Melissa Wood. She put in years of just sharing her day-to-day and her workouts and what she eats and her parenting things every day, all day on the phone. And now she's getting millions of dollars a month subscriptions on her workout app and platform. She is fucking killing it. But that was years of creating content, and I would write her all the time and be you're exhausting me watching how much energy you're putting in. It's a lot. So I give you a lot of credit. I don't think that's an easy job.
Thank you. Yeah. It's, it is exciting, and it is a lot of work. I got some emails.
Oh, let's do email. Jamie, off the top of your head, if you had to say your favorite moment, Pajama Pants, in the last 3 years.
That's so hard.
What comes?
That's
Anything?
so
Does anything
hard.
come? Does anything come? Or what's the first thing that comes to mind?
You know, just like watching all of that back, I actually really do miss being in the studio with you guys. Just because I was so in the moment. Like, even though I'm on a screen and like I don't have my view on here, like there's just like an awareness I have that I'm in front of a computer screen and like a self-awareness. And as much as I feel like my reactions were authentic, like watching us be in studio, like I love just seeing how in the moment our reactions are to each other. And so watching, like, those were my favorite moments, but I think the spider might be one of my favorite ones, especially when they gave us like the slow-mo video of it.
Yeah.
I actually think that was that was like a turning point for me in the pod of like, I think like a switch went off for me there where I like, of just it being a lot of fun, and I can't explain it. I actually really remember that day and leaving and being like, that was so much fun. Not that I wasn't enjoying it prior, but I don't know. I miss being in the studio. Those are my favorites.
Kass?
I don't know if it's my favorite. The one I really like thinking about is that moment me and you like were we were saying the same thing.
You and me?
Me and Rob were like
I think
me
Jamie,
and you had some fun moments with the tying up. That whole thing was really funny and how that came out. But yeah, me and Rob, I forget where that got posted. It's on our Instagram somewhere, but we're saying the same thing. It's like something about, well, anyways, it
was like
I gotta find it. It's so deep in there though.
We were doing, I think Jamie left and we had to do like ads or something.
Yeah, we were doing an ad.
Me and Casson very rarely sat next to each other. It was usually me on my own and then you and Casson on the side. So me and Casson were sitting next to each other. And I forget what we said, but we said the exact same thing at the same time. And like Bryce said something like, oh, you gotta, and we're like, well, then you better catch it. And then we were like, ha ha ha.
Oh yeah.
Back to the show. And like we said the same thing at the same exact time.
Well, slow down. Ah! Hey guys.
But yeah, we were doing an ad, and so that I thought that was fun. And then obviously our week in San Diego was fun.
No, you know what that clip is like? It's like when women start having their periods at the same time.
We sync up. Yeah.
Me and you fully sync. We did a double sync up.
Yeah, it was a good sync up, and it wasn't just a one-liner. It was the line and then the line after, which is, that's a rare sync.
And like our physical, like our movements were the same too.
Wow.
Let me just read this email real fast. I think it's a really nice, it's a really nice sort of end to this whole thing. As the pod comes to an end, subject says, "Hi, well, I think I've seen just about every pod from the beginning. At first, I was simply interested in seeing how Jamie and Rob interact in real life as adults after having seen them all those years as teenagers on that hit TV show. What was it called again? It was laughing emoji. And the close friendship that they shared. And Kass, you were the perfect moderator through it all. But even when one of you were absent, the other two managed fine. And beginning with the lockdown, watching the podcast became something to look forward to on Tuesday mornings. And I felt like I was watching a private conversation between three close friends. Along the way, we got to see how Jamie, as a mom, had to cope with raising small children throughout the pandemic, with all the trials and tribulations that popped up along the way, and more recently, pooped up. LOL. And how she balances work and motherhood while dealing with MS. Wishing you good health. Contrasting that with Rob and Kass, who have had a carefree lifestyle and totally different experiences. Some of my favorite pajama moments where you had former cast members of The Sopranos, such as Jason Serbone and Will Janowitz, with fun behind-the-scenes stories they shared, like when Jason took Rob clothes shopping and Will going out to a club with the cast. And of course, how cool it was seeing you, Jamie and Rob, in the Super Bowl commercial. Thanks for the memories, especially when you would read my emails, which always made me smile. Love and best wishes, Phil."
Oh, Phil, we had to have one from him.
Got to have Phil. Thank you so much. When I think of the people that support the podcast, I think of you first, You took all of Rob's jabs in stride, and you sent us an email almost every week. And when you didn't send one in, I got worried. And I'm really happy that we were able to sort of fill an hour of your week.
And also, I think it's like pretty. I didn't really think about this until right now, the way he was like, what's the name of that show again? But it's like, you know, obviously Sopranos was such a big part of our lives and the reason that we're friends and this, but it really like, it wasn't this podcast, you know, like it was, you know, we had our friends on who happened to be from the Sopranos and this, and like, there was no, we don't want to talk about Sopranos or let's not talk about, there was no plan or whatever, but it's like, we just did the last episode an hour long and it just never even came up. And I think that's just like, you know, I think that just shows of like our friendships, how we get along,
it's just our history.
Yeah. It's just, I just find it interesting, you know, because it's like, it's not something.
It's like if people met in high school, they could every once in a while tell stories from high school, but it doesn't inform everything that, you know, it's not their relationship necessarily today. It's just, it says something about our bond that we've been able to continue on through life and still find a need for each other in our lives. But Sopranos is just how we met. But it's also something that means something to a lot of people. So it's not like you and I won't talk about it or don't want to talk about it. And it comes up naturally in memories and in talking. But I think we did a good job of being really open and talking about it, and also inviting a lot of our, you know, cast and crew members on.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's great that it wasn't something that I feel like we had to like lean on to get people to listen, or it was like when it came up, it was great. There was no part of me that was like, I don't want to talk about that, or I do want to talk about it. It was just like, I guess like the rest of this podcast, it was just like, if it came natural, great. If not, like.
Right.
Got another email. This one says, I just want to say that I'm really sad that I found out about you guys literally August of this year. Now you decide to end the podcast. I'm happy I found you three all because I watched The Sopranos this summer, which was amazing and has now become my all-time favorite show. I hope this isn't the end of your podcast forever, because you truly helped me get through my Monday morning at work. Coffee and pajama pants, no better combo. Love you guys and each of your personalities. Thanks for being you. I miss listening to you guys. That's from Jesse. There's a bunch here, and maybe I'll just kind of respond one by one. There's one from the booker at the Ice House in Pasadena who wanted us to come do a live podcast there. They open in February.
Way.
She's a listener. Thanks, Allie. We will get back to you once we figure out. You would all have to be in LA. This one says, Jamie, wardrobe question. Since y'all are leaving Phil from Long Island and myself, I have a burning question. Can you share where Jamie-Lee got her cute striped shirt she wore last week? I think it maybe says camping on it. Additionally, I'll miss you guys terribly. My family and friends have all heard me talk about the show endlessly, but I'll always continue to be a fan of you three. Thanks for sharing your time every week with your dedicated panties and helping our mental health. As Garth Brooks says, it was like having a conversation with friends. I like that. Love, Becky.
They're pajamas, and they're from Eddie Bauer and the Great collaboration.
There you go. Eddie Bauer. Do they do anything on their own? Because anytime I see them, it's with it's like collabing with Ford. What are those? Those old Ford Explorers. Remember when the Eddie Bauer edition?
No.
Come on. Okay.
Big collaborator.
Let's see. There's a bunch of junk. I'm gonna be so happy to not have to go through all this junk mail.
Oh man, I opened our email up like twice, and it was like 25 junk emails to one thing. Because what do you think? Like somebody got 8 cents for providing our.
I think somebody's just you just
email?
Control people by putting their emails in. So that's probably what happened.
That's so much effort to put us in that many different. Because it got worse over time.
Oh, it only gets worse. Once you put it in, it just gets sucked up into the machine. This email,
probably Phil.
The subject is the best thing I learned from being a PJ Panty. Oh. As a true Costco girly, I am always buying my meat in bulk, cutting the pouches into sections and freezing them. Pouches, I think she's tried to say, but it's spelled poaches. Cutting the pouches into sections and freezing them. Often I'll let a package defrost and notice it leaking everywhere. Usually I just think to myself, damn, girl, how did you cut the bag and not notice this before? But would carry on my way cooking it, or sometimes toss the chicken thinking I had really fucked up. Anyway, a few episodes ago, okay, it was probably more than a few at this point, Rob and Kass were talking about frozen chicken and how sometimes when defrosting, the chicken will poke a hole in the bag and the juice gets everywhere. I felt my actual head explode with this new knowledge. No, I'm not an idiot who's cutting the chicken bag and letting the juices leak everywhere. I'm an idiot for not realizing the bag expands during the freezing process. After laughing at myself at this for a long time, I really thought I would keep this to myself. However, when I heard the show was ending, I wanted to send this humor and sincerely thank you for helping me realize this fact that I should have known all along. Michaela, a forever fan of you three. Thanks, Michaela.
That's perfect. That's what this entire podcast has been about.
Chicken, frozen chicken.
Laughing at ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I think we're
good at that.
Pretty good at that.
We're very good at that.
Yeah.
I'd say
we're good at
that.
All right. Well, that's about time, guys. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Look, it's not a goodbye. It's just a see you later. There's a new podcast coming out next year with Jamie-Lynn and Rob. You can catch me on Twitch. I will be down there doing their pod as often as I can. There's still more coming, guys. Don't be sad. This email will keep. If you guys need to reach out to any one of us, askpajamapants@gmail.com. I want to thank our sponsors that we've had.
Yes.
I really appreciate the sponsorship.
Didn't it make you emotional seeing those Braddock masks on the table?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I mean, remember when they were the only
so
ones we
loyal
had?
to us for so long?
Yeah.
Braddock made in the USA.
I still have one somewhere, but
For sure.
it was seeing what's her name that had the things on the earmuffs. I was like, man, that was Ginger. What a different time that was when we were trying to pod during a fucking pandemic.
It was kind of cool that this pod like took us through like one of the most intense times of everyone's lives, you know? And I really want to acknowledge us for not giving up and pushing through and never missing a week. And I just love you both so much. I'm not going to get emotional because I know it's not goodbye forever, but I'm sorry for the stupid shit I said when I've been high.
That's the best part.
And I'm really, really, really going to miss this. Like a lot.
Same. I love you both very much. And I'd probably be a mess right now if I didn't know that I would be down there with you guys very soon. So thank you guys for the 3 years of weekly. I mean, I don't know of a single friend that I've talked to weekly for the last 3 years.
Yeah. And thank you, Rob, because this is all you. Thank you, Rob, for putting us together and having this vision, and it's all because of you. And this next chapter is all because of you too. So thanks for wanting to take me on the ride with you.
Yeah, I love you both, and anything either of you ever need, I hope you know, no matter what, I'm always there.
We do. And same for all of you guys listening. We love you so much. Thanks for seeing us through all the different seasons of our lives, and just keep Rob's off the grid, but keep following Kass and I.
That's right.
For, where we're at, and, we just appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
See you in the next one.